Hey, what's going on, guys? We are back, finally, with another episode of the PokeTalk podcast. Here with Phillip, as my usual. What's going on, man?
Hey, it's been a while. I don't remember the last one. I know it's been a little bit. We were both kind of busy doing stuff. I think we both were getting caught up. I'm actually starting school here tomorrow, actually. So I was getting a bunch of stuff situated. So it actually ended up working out that we took a little bit of a break. But I'm ready to get back into it.
I think the last time we talked was right before TCG Pocket released. And
Yep. And actually, so it was October. Yep.
Yeah, we both really got into TCG Pocket pretty heavy. I know you kind of stopped playing a little bit.
Yeah. I haven't played in a while. It was fun. I just kind of lost interest.
I've been going pretty hard every single day. I don't think I missed a single pack yet. So yeah, still going pretty hard for me. I guess we can talk a little bit about that. Since we probably should have done an episode on that because of how impressed we both were with the game at the time. Huge success, obviously. Do you have anything bad to say about it?
No, just the fact that there wasn't trading available, but that's coming soon. So, I really liked a lot of it. It was really fun. I just got kind of bored with it, and I know Sets came out, but then my attention was elsewhere. Basically, I was going through my whole entire portfolio for photography, and I was re-editing based with my current skill level. Basically a much more experience everything, and I was going through everything, sorting it, blah blah blah, before starting this because I don't know if I was going to have time, and that was fulfilling a lot of my time, and that took over my mental focus, and kind of that when I get focused on something like that, it's hard to get myself away from it, and that's essentially what's occurred the last few months.
Yeah. I think it was just today that they actually released the last promo of the first promos. So I was able to complete my promos today. I was able to finish Genetic Apex Pokédex. That's not counting all the special arts because they don't count that in the normal count. Mythical Island, the mini set that came out has been great. But yeah, I've been just utterly pleased with TCG Pocket. If trading comes out, and which it should this month, they said.
Yeah, soon.
And everything goes smooth with that, and where you can trade, it looks like you're going to be able to trade same rarity for same rarity at the start. They kind of touched a little bit on it, but yeah, it seems like it's going to be pretty good. And just the fact, like the pack system, the hourglass system, the wonder pick system, battling, all the missions, like just everything about this game is perfect for a mobile game. At first I was really worried that the card list for the decks was only 20, but it got kind of repetitive, and there's like a 5-win consecutive in a row for Mythical Island going on right now. And I do kind of feel like that, like, I don't want to do that many online battles now. I just want to wait till the next set comes out. So it'll be a tough grind for that. But just with the release of Mythical Island and a couple of the new decks that entered the meta, it really refreshed things for me. And, the 20 card limit isn't really that big a deal. It makes things simple. It makes deck building simple. So yeah, it's kind of a downside if you're more of the competitive side, but as far as the quick grind and, basically quick match like a mobile game should be, I've come to love it quite a bit. all decks pretty much run the same 6 to 8 trainer cards, so you're really limited down to just a few evolution lines. Selby EX is really dominant right now. A lot of people thought the Charizard deck was pretty crazy at the start, but I found the Starmie EX with the little Blastoise EX was running train on the first set. I know you ran the Mewtwo a little bit, right?
I was mostly with the first set. I was electric. I had the double Jolteons with the Zapdos. I rained shit on anybody with the double Jolteons. It was I understand people's complaints with those kind of you know RNG base, obviously, and I get that. I mean, there was times where I would lose, obviously, because of bad luck, but I won more time than not. And I mean, the how satisfying it was to get like 3 of those heads when you needed it was so satisfying, and they would just lose.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my secret weapon was that Starmie deck. I found that like I could not pull a Pikachu EX for the life of me.
That was me with Mewtwo.
I ran Mewtwo a little bit, but it wasn't as good as Starmie. I had to play Starmie and Blastoise early, and I found that it was a very strong deck. And towards the end of Genetic Apex, right before Mythical Island came out, people were realizing that like Starmie EX is probably one of the more dominant decks, and I would literally win 4 out of every 5 games with that. Probably even 5 out of every 6. So it was pretty easy. Selby EX is challenging to mess with. The only thing that could really beat my Starmie Blastoise deck consistently was a Pikachu EX deck, but even then I was about 50-50 on those, and they had to get Pikachu out pretty much turn 2 attacking. So
I didn't really like that deck with focus around Pikachu. I actually did not like that at all.
it's really strong early game, but
Yep. Mm-hmm.
then
It
has a big drop off.
Yep. It comes in handy if you roll it in the beginning and you have like 2 base electric starters off the bat, and then you pull a third somewhere within the next 2 turns. And then you can own. So within 2 turns, essentially, you can take charge of the whole entire game, even if they have a Starmie deck. Yeah, exactly. But I probably will play again at some point, but I don't have any of the new decks, so it would take there'd be a sharp curve, I'm sure. I need to start playing, at least opening. I don't have to play, at least start opening.
Yeah, I already have all the Mythical Island set complete. Because it's so small, you get the cards pretty fast, so you could probably hop on there and open daily packs and pretty much complete it before the new set comes out.
I'll probably try to do that tonight, actually.
But yeah, I still haven't pulled a single gold card. Like, I haven't missed a single pack, and I have not pulled a single
They're overrated.
gold card. They are, but it's like I have multiples of the Charizard EX. I'm pretty sure I have 3 of the interactive art Charizard EX cards, and not a single gold one. But I've been opening a lot of Charizard packs because Executor EX was the last card I needed, and I literally pulled it yesterday.
I still don't have that one. I didn't have that one either.
That was like the last card I needed for like 2 weeks. I was just opening up Charizard packs every time just to get it. So yeah, it's a little ridiculous. But yeah, it's an amazing game. They forgot how many millions they've made. Like, I think there was a report they made over like multiple millions of dollars the first day the game was released or something like that. I can only imagine what that is now. You can just imagine all the money that Pokemon GO makes and TCG Pocket. And obviously a topic of this podcast will be the craziness that is modern Pokemon. Um,
Mm-hmm.
just everything is full steam ahead and
Yeah.
nothing can be stopped.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty nuts to think that, I mean, Pokemon 151 was the catalyst of this. Um, there, 2020, 2021, that made a lot of sense, right? A lot of people were at home, people needed an escape, people needed an outlet. And I'm not saying you didn't necessarily need that even now, but it wasn't as obviously as needed as it was then. And
Uh,
and then now you're having the amount of demand is just kind of crazy that you're seeing. Like obviously I mean you've already seen it. The brawls in Costco, the brawls in anywhere. The first time I saw that Costco video, I was reminded of Hidden Fates, here at the local Walmart and how I wasn't going to be that doucher and start something over Pokemon cards. Even the guy definitely took it out of my hands. And I could have actually thrown down over it, like made
throw some
it a more
hands.
How about Pikachu? How about these hands, huh? Huh? But no, I was not going to be that guy. I got one. I was frustrated, but it is what it is. But seeing the video is pretty horrendous, right? For Pokemon 151, too, of all things, it's like wave 3 of stock coming out. You know, Hidden Fates. At least, I mean, I'm not rationalizing it. I'm just saying it kind of makes sense because by then it was already out for almost 2 years, and it was a special set, so it made sense that like this might be it. You know, Pokemon 151 is a set in rotation.
Uh, yeah,
Like
it's just
like
insane.
and seeing what some of these sealed, what it was going for, some of these ETBs and stuff, and um, like a prismatic evolutions were going for. It's like, how is this going for pandemic prices?
Yeah, it's I mean, you just see yeah, so like it was bad in 2020, 2021, whenever that was. You would not see a single thing on shelves. And I remember telling you at the start of the year like you would start seeing stuff back on shelves when Scarlet and Violet came out. Things kind of started slow, but then during the summer, I remember every time I went into Target, I sent you a couple times throughout the summer. I'm like, well, things are looking bare again. Things are looking bare again. Not a single Pokemon product out here again. And then we started seeing like things build up. We had a couple of good sets. Then obviously Stellar Crown and Prismatic Evolutions just kind of blew
See,
it out of the water again.
well, you see, Prismatic Evolutions, in my opinion, is the best set so far of this era.
Oh
It's
yeah.
got a little bit of everything. I'm not even talking about the evolutions. I got some personal qualms with some of the crowns, but I mean the Umbreon clearly, right, and then the Sylveon is the other great one. I think a lot of the other evolutions are kind of lackluster, but I think the thing that takes is this cake is Shinji Kanda. Has he missed yet? I mean, he's new on the scene, but the Salamence, the Roaring Moon EX Salamence, that thing is awesome.
Yeah, it
Like
does look good.
that card is sick. Whereas the new set, we'll talk about that a little later. There's like 3 or 4 cards, and I'm like, this is what they've hyped this set up to me. Because to me, this set, Prismatic Evolutions, is thus far the better set. And I mean, it's not even close.
Yeah, it's just building, and then we got Rocket coming here soon, and
Hmm.
yeah, what's the team battle coming up? It's just insane. Or Journey Together rather. Um,
Well,
things are going to get better for the near future, but I don't know, every time, I don't know if it's maybe just me being an older collector, like going way back, but every time we get in these like really hype markets and stuff like this, I kind of, I don't know, get out of the hobby in a way. Like it just doesn't really want to make me go out there and buy the new stuff. Like I told you many times and other people that I want to start like a modern binder because the artwork is so good and like prices are so cheap on the lesser arts. But now prices are getting so insane. It's like I could just buy so many older cards that I like for the price of, you know, most things that are hit worthy modern. Like a Moonbreon now is creeping up
It was
to
3,000 and 10.
3,000. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm looking at, it's funny, I'm looking at prismatic evolutions. If you just do like a prismatic evolutions elite trainer box, what I find kind of crazy is how little. Wait, hold on. Never mind. Never mind. It was under sealed cards.
Oh.
On my search, I was like, "This can't be right." I'm like, "This is nuts." Okay, because I was scrolling through and I saw like no elite trainer boxes from Prismatic Evolutions, and I was like, "This is nuts." But then I was like, "Oh, it's on cards." Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, those are going for elite, hidden fate prices.
it's just the amount of them too. Like, just everyone wants the Moonbreon, and like we said, prices have just gotten crazy, and it's like ridiculous. But the demand factor is just so big. Like, all I've seen this week is people post like their prices of their new modern sets, and it's like you guys could like sell all this right now and go buy like any gold star that you want. Like there's not a whole lot of gold stars unless you're going after like a pristine 10 or a PSA 10 that's priced over $3,000. You can buy a lot of PSA 9, especially PSA 8 gold stars for that price point. It's insane. If you have two Umbreons or two Moonbreon PSA 10s, you're talking about, you're getting close to a Rayquaza PSA 7, 8 range.
I mean,
So,
the Moonbreon is consistently at 3K, which I feel like eventually I understand, it's kind of like the Zard of this era, the first set Zard. I get that, but at what point is it going to be like, who's left holding the bag?
yeah.
Doesn't it feel like it's like a little bit of a bubble? Because
Oh, yeah.
I just don't know how a card with this big of a pop. I understand demand. I understand demand's high enough, but is demand really that high for the amount of people that can afford this card within the hobby? Like, I really have to. I have to know because this is enough to buy a Mario, okay, a PSA 9 Mario, or well, that's few listings, right? Little issues with that. We'll kind of talk about that a little bit later too, or at another time. But I mean, you just kind of have to wonder. It's like I feel like it's a lot of naivety and impulsivity right now. I'm not saying that card doesn't deserve to be sought after in the crown jewel of from that era. I'm not disagreeing with that because I think I still remember when that card was debuted. I said to Nathan the moment that card debuted, this is the card. This is the card.
Uh-huh.
Like I literally said, this is the card, and it still is, and nobody's disputing that. It's just you have to wonder: is it naivety / immaturity within the hobby? Is it people giving into FOMO and social media hype? I mean, it's probably all the above. But
Yeah, the demand is there, and like a lot of people are feeding off each other, but like it makes sense that it's that price because so many people want it. It's like, first edition base set Charizard at this point, it's just iconic. Um, but but when you get to the point where you could buy a first edition PSA Charizard with that card, like in low grade, like like we've always said, those cards have to come down or the old stuff has to come up. Maybe, I think there's so many new people in the hobby that have kind of felt left out because they didn't collect back then. Um, you know, you to some extent, many people who come into the hobby who like, see stuff that people had for 10 plus years and they're like, "Oh, you just got lucky." But it's like they have been missing out, and it has sucked to start collecting Pokemon in the last couple years. Um, but now we're seeing people, 2 years ago who were just starting collections. They're making money. They sell stuff, even if you didn't collect any old stuff. The modern stuff that they were collecting 2 years ago is starting to really explode, and it's a really positive thing for me because like I don't know, I look at a story like every time I post a picture of a gold star or everyone is commenting on gold star videos like, "Oh my god, that's the dream." Collectors new and old, they want the old stuff, gold star Charizards, but I think that stuff is just a distant dream for most people starting collecting. But the more you have stuff like this happen, the more money they make modern. And when they get tired of chasing like the next set and the next set and the next set, and they build up their collection and they look to sell, those people are going to have the opportunity to collect some of that old stuff. And then maybe we'll start seeing the old stuff start tick
Well,
back up again.
that's kind of why I feel like the clock is ticking. The clock is officially ticking. We saw this before, right? It was a little bit different, but we saw it last time. It was everything. It was old stuff. It was new stuff. It was anything people can get their hands on, right? Because there was low supply on the shelves, low supply coming in. Um, People were finding stuff in their closets, selling that. Everywhere was low supply. Everywhere was trying to get it at the same time. All the markets were going ham at once, just about. Besides, certain promo, Japanese promos, kind of stuff like that. Um, but you have to wonder as people become more educated in the hobby, where that's going to go once people sell. Because
Well, and you had
this
the
cycle,
PSA shutting down and PSA shortage. So, but yeah, I understand like the demand
that
for old
too,
stuff
yeah.
is there, but there's just not the availability of it. But we're not seeing it go too crazy because a lot
Well,
of it is outpriced for new people.
well, what's crazy is this people from 151 is now going for $1,000.
Oh,
I sold my cracked one for like 550 ish, something like that, 600. I think it was like 550. I mean, it looks like it now. I could have gotten 750 out of it now. I mean, it is what it is. I don't regret that because you don't know how long it's going to last, right?
yeah.
I am frustrated because if this person actually paid on this $2,000 buy, this tends horrendous. Like, and I only got one PSA 10 out of my English. Oh my God, get out of here.
Well, what was I gonna say? Oh, do you remember the price of the Van Gogh Pikachu? Like
Raw
PSA
or
10?
it was like 350, 400, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think they were pushing down like 300 or maybe just slightly under there for a split second at the all-time lows. Um try to guess what they're at now.
Well, I just kind of looked at it. 800.
Yep.
So actually, so what I saw was I saw 560. and it still hadn't ended, and I saw 61 and 58. I was like, well, 560, so it's got to be more than that. So,
Yep, right at
and
800's what those are selling for now. So
and that's in their car. That doesn't make sense. I mean, with how easy it was to grade, and like it's just pure demand is all it is. Pure demand. At a certain point, that demand is going to, you would think, calm down.
yeah, I don't know anymore.
But again,
Obviously, like we were buying
can't predict
alt
it.
arts. Well, we were buying alt arts, you know, at the last KC CollectCon.
Hmm.
One of mine was a Giratina V. If I would have just held that until now, I could have sold it for almost double what I did.
I don't
So
regret selling anything. Um, I just was angry that I didn't get the tens that I should have gotten.
should have got, yeah.
Yeah, but going no, now that's a whole other thing right there. We KCCon is in August, so we got it'll be 7 months from 2 days of us recording. Um, so that's a lot of time for the market to kind of simmer down a little bit. I expect it to be a lot busier this year, but it's also kind of interesting because of when it is. It's like the end of summer. School will have already started for a lot of people, especially college will have already started for a lot of places. It's kind of late in the year this year, so it will be interesting. I am worried about several factors going into that besides the market prices. The fact that you can now submit stuff individually with GameStop makes me feel like the burn rate for a potential PSA 10 at these places have gone down even more so. There's more people scouting for these areas now because trying to make money. You got more people in the market, so it's going to be more competitive. So I don't know what to expect. It's going to be like you can't even make a game plan. You have to make a game plan like in June and see where things are at. Seriously.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say going forward, just anytime there's an iconic card and you catch that card in a downturn and it,
Bye.
it kind of like steadies out and you're like, okay, there's so many copies of this card, it can't go up anymore. Like that thinking doesn't matter anymore.
Yep,
If you have a
I
solid
agree.
card like Van Gogh Pikachu and they drop to $200, you know, any card that's iconic or causes a stir or people go crazy about, it'll stay
What
no
about the
matter
special
what.
delivery? What about
Yeah.
okay? That's actually good. I'm curious. Special delivery Pikachu, the whole series.
Ooh, yeah, I haven't checked those in a while.
Yeah, right. Let's get our live reaction to the special delivery. Let's get special delivery Pikachu. The Pikachu, there's a lot of nines, so the 10 was always pretty hefty. Um,
Yeah, man, what was that going for? I can't even remember what these things were going for.
the nines were going for about 150, 120, 150. 650 is about right with how hard it was to hit the 10. Um, that's not too far crazy. 280 for the Zard and a 10. There are 55 you had to buy. That's what you had to basically. That's what they were raw. If you just bought the car, they're about 55, 50 or so. And this is a 10, so that's really not too far off. So those really haven't been impacted, believe it or not. It
Yeah, it
looks
looks
like,
like they're kind of about the same there.
which is interesting. I wonder why that is. I wonder if that's because it's. Um, I noticed the cards again. This goes back to the an experience within the hobby. Some people probably don't even, a lot of people within the hobby probably don't even know these cards exist.
Yeah, and then there's also like so many available, but I don't know, I just
And
think there's an aspect with modern that, you know, people who want the cards, they go to the store and they can't get the cards like no matter what. There's just no inventory there, so I don't know, I just think there's got to be a FOMO and missing out aspect because
there is,
You
I
go to the
agree.
store and it's like, well, I don't care if I get the pull. I just want to open a pack, and you can't even do that now. So
I think that plays a role into it, definitely. Um, like there is a real thing with social media FOMO and hype and feeding off that pressure.
yeah, and so many people streaming now, and so many packs getting opened. They just burn through so many cards now. It's just crazy. Um, if I ever had the free time, it'll be cool to open packs again and doing more YouTube videos, and maybe that's how I collect modern in the future. But with a kiddo and another kid on the way, I've been slacking with even my normal YouTube videos. So maybe down the road when they're old enough and a lot of my energy can be put into the channel again, I'll get things going. But yeah, I need to get on the videos, or at least you know Z and G style, have a just chilling in my car video, um, talking about the market and everything, because yeah, it's just crazy. Every week it's crazy. And I know you mentioned the Mario's already. There's been a couple sales of the PSA 10 Mario Pikachu that have really popped off.
Well, and
Um,
I just want to say real fast because this will really tie what we were just talking about into
yeah,
this. So we are talking about inexperience within the hobby. Well, showing signs of certain Grail cards going off, you have to wonder if there could be a couple things. This could be crypto profits coming into the hobby. This could be profits from people selling some of their stuff from modern. It could be a combination of Christmas money, whatever. All these sort of things, and I think you're seeing early people trying to get in on the Japanese promos just before it takes off. I think it's only a matter of time before these people that are just kind of into the hobby start to slowly sort of filter out into other areas within the hobby and find their own little niche within collecting. We all kind of have one, right? And I think you're going to start seeing that. And I think you're starting to see signs with certain cards. And I think this is one sign.
yeah, I'm ready for the bear market, full on bear market to hit everything. Um, that's what I want to see. I want to see the what the markets do in the full blown bear, which we really haven't seen. 2021, 2022, we really saw the worst of bear markets since like the pandemic, and it only lasted what, like 6 months, and then things started ticking up again. Um, the end of Biden's last 3 months, the stock market has been hitting like all time highs every single week there for a while. Um, things still seem to continue to be going, um, regardless of who's president or like whose policies. Just everything seems to just be doing really well right now. Um, it's very
The mar-
hard
the
not to make
markets are
money.
doing really well right now. The markets are doing really well. Should probably emphasize that.
The what's not doing very well?
I said the markets are doing very well right now,
Yeah.
but it's only the markets. If you're catching what I'm saying.
Yeah. The markets on paper.
Yes, exactly.
um, but yeah, it's really hard not to make money right now. It's exactly where we were a few years ago. Crypto's booming, stocks are booming,
Woo! Crypto!
collectibles are booming. Everything's booming, and people are
Yeah.
just throwing money left and right. So let's get a good bear market. Let's
No, no,
cut.
no, no, no. I threw money into the winning crypto, and it turned out to be a damn good decision. Just like throwing the money in the win into Lurkana.
I'm ready to
We're
go
going to see
down.
this through.
I'm ready to go down
We gotta see this
30%.
through.
30% down across the board, everything.
I mean,
Just tank it. Let's go.
I would still have plenty of profit. I mean, I got in early enough for XRP that it's pretty hard for me to take a big old L on it.
Yeah,
So
let's get full on bear market down 30% across the board. Let's go. I'm ready. I've been sitting, like I've been investing in my normal stuff like I do, and it's like now I've been throwing money in and it's been doing well for so long. It's like, okay, I'm ready for a big tank here, and that way I can put even more in and it do even better things. Um, but yeah, strategy, as I've said the last year or so, just buying my hollows. I bought me a Ampharos Expedition hollow this week,
mm,
partially with an eBay gift card I got for Christmas. Um, I bought a PSA 7 that I'm going to crack out of the case because it is damn hard to find any hollows that are even binder worthy for me that are raw now. So that's going to be a pretty expensive and lengthy adventure. I'm afraid getting those Expedition, Aquapolis, Skyridge hollows. But
ponchos aren't affected for the most part. They're pretty on par with where they've been the last couple years, which is interesting.
yeah, and I'm pretty satisfied. I got pretty lucky once again picking up my Mario and my ponchos. Had to pay up. Got my Mario PSA 10 from Zach Jim at Pokemon. Um, I was trying to haggle him for like 5,000. We settled at like 5,200, and I was like, well, I hate to be overpaying a little bit here, but it's Zach, and he's helped me out a lot. And then here we are. It's pushing 8,000 now, so can't complain there. Bet he wish he would have kept it. Um, but yeah, that goes to show even people like freaking Jim Mint Pokemon, someone who should know everything top to bottom about the hobby, like just shows like we're in unprecedented times. Like even the veteran of veterans, don't even know what this market is doing. It's crazy. Full steam
Well,
ahead.
I say there's really no predicting it, so I think the only thing you can really honestly say is whatever you want, if it doesn't hurt you, to go ahead and get it sooner rather than later. I know I've been kind of saying this now for a while, um, but I think we're going to see it potentially this year. I've been saying I thought we would see a hype the end of this year, sometime in the second half, um, and it was really 2024, and so far the first half of this year, and are we going to see it maybe in something else, like for WotC? I have to wonder if we might see it. Like it's been a while for WotC, and you have to wonder when is when is it going to come back?
Yeah, and like I said, I just think a lot of people were priced out, but now that things are going crazy again, a lot of people hopping into the hobby, newly into the hobby, are having opportunities to buy some WotC stuff that they've always wanted. I'm trying to look up the first edition Charizard because I know it's been moving a little bit. The listings I'm seeing are kind of crazy. Like there's a PSA 9 listed for 37,000, which is kind of nuts.
Well, there's two sevens that sold. Hold on.
I know the
There's the three
nines
sevens.
got down to about 22K. I could have bought one from my buddy off Instagram for right at 20,000, but I turned it down like this time last year. And I probably should have just sold some stuff and jumped on it.
Well, I have to wonder if the PSA 7 Zard potentially is going up. It's hard to say. Two sold listings within the last couple days of 9K and 9,500. I have to wonder if other people are thinking the same thing I am. Things are coming.
That 9800 one, yeah, that looks legit. And
Well, I'm looking at 130 point. I'm not even on eBay. I'm on 130 point to see if it's sold or not, or if it was paid for. Um, there was one in the 14th that was under 8,000 PSA 7, and not a week later, 9,000, 9,500. Now, I will say this. This is within the realm of its range for PSA 7. I've been watching the PSA 7 now for a couple years. And this is still within range. So this isn't abnormal necessarily.
looks like the PSA 8s are about 12 or a little higher. They were
Which is
down.
still,
They were
like I
down to
said,
about 10 to 11.
well, I saw some about 12 too. That's still kind of in that range. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I'd
until I
say
see,
they.
like,
I'd say they went up though. Like all at least have been going up
yeah,
about a
with
thousand or maybe slightly less.
5 to 10%, right? Like, basically, nice growth, right? Steady growth, but not craziness. Not enough movement to be like, oh, there's movement here. Shit's about to go off. There's none of that. None of that indication yet. But I think it's interesting to kind of keep an eye on these, and the next time we record, to kind of come back and look at it because it is coming. It is coming, and I think we could see it this year at some point. I was thinking, like I said, at the end of the year, but we'll see.
Yep, we'll see. As far as graded cards go, I do wish I could get the screams back relatively soon. Um, I'm down to just the Rowlet, so the Mimikyu and Pikachu might be tough to get back. But they really haven't been growing. A lot of people realize there's a lot of those now. So they surprisingly haven't been jumping like a lot of stuff. But yeah, I think I'm gonna chill on the graded stuff and just collect goals and what I like. And yeah, maybe chase a Rayquaza PSA 8 Gold Star or something down the road. It's gonna be interesting. I don't even know what my plan will be going into Collecticons, but
Well, it's hard to say because my basically my whole plan's going to be dictated by how well the crypto goes off. Um and then the Mario. Like how that goes off is going to be like it's going to dictate, am I going for a Zard? Am I going for a flip? And also these markets, right? Like we kind of learned last year that it's kind of hard to find gradable copies. And I learned from my mistake last year of not getting. There was some stuff in the light. I was like, okay, the light wasn't the best. I was tired. I missed a few things. I shouldn't have gone for the lower dollar cards. Kind of all those kind of played a role. I ended up profiting about 65 to 70%, which is still pretty good, right? Um, but it wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting a lot better.
yeah,
Uh, and I think all those factors played against me. And this year, I know I need to go on with more expensive cards, and I imagine most of those is going to be like these sets coming out potentially, or these are the ones that I should buy because the way things are going in a year or 6 months, it's going to be right back at it. So buy that
yeah,
stuff now. Maybe even hold off on getting it graded for a couple months. Get it graded, and then by the time I get it back, another month or so, it'll be time to flip that. Right? Perfect market. That's the way it's been going.
yeah. Yeah, just anything that's popular, just hold on. But then again, we could be slipping to a bear market or something by then. Things could change. So yeah, who knows really? Just seeing those videos is sad, and it's kind of, I don't know, got me out of the mood, but I'll get back in there. Well,
Yeah.
we're at 45 minutes. Anything else we want to hit on? Um,
Nothing that let me see. I just say a lot. There's several things that I think we can hit on as more information comes out later down the road.
yeah,
I
with
mean,
our
there's
first episode getting back, this kind of warming up, and
I say the only thing is potentially the battle trainers. That's the only thing. The secret rares were just revealed in the last 24 hours from from whenever we just recorded it, the last 24 hours. They were revealed, and honestly, there are some cool cards here. I can see which cards are gonna like the one with Iono, but like
not as crazy as you thought it'd
mm,
be, right?
very underwhelming, incredibly underwhelming.
Do you know, like the cartoony Iono? Um, I think they're more of the character rares, where they're like the low tier, where they'll probably be
Mm,
pretty common. Even like In and Zora, the one where he's bent over petting him, that one will
Mm-hmm.
probably be pretty common. Actually, I think that's a promo. Um, but yeah, the In with Reshiram, that's going to be a top card. That's going to be a must-have for me as well.
The Whale
Um,
Lord, honestly, I absolutely love that card.
yeah,
That's one
Whale
of the
Lord
few,
looks cool with the
and it's beautiful art
colors.
with, and it kind of reminds me of Jaws, right? I think that's what it was designed for. Um, but I mean, that one and the ends restroom I like. Um, and I think
The
Hops
snowy
Zacian's kind of
Articuno.
beautiful. Oh yeah, and that one. I would say the only three that's like awesome are probably Articuno, Wailord, and Ins Reshiram. I do like Ins Aurora where he's petting him, like you're saying, and then I like Iona's where she's like cuddled up to her Pokemon with a different type of art. But again, this isn't like otherworldly, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's nothing here that makes me want to beat the shit out of some old guy at Costco.
Don't want to throw some elbows. It's kind of
No,
cool too. Like some of the
you know.
EXs, like the basic EXs, have the trainer in the background grayed out, and then there's some like
Yeah,
higher rarity EXs that have the trainer in color,
definitely going back to the first EX era.
and then there's like the gold trainers, like In's Zoroark, where it's gold and it has in the background colorized.
See, those are kind of nice. I think it's a different look to it,
Yeah,
but I mean, it doesn't do anything for me.
yeah. The Reshiram full art and the Articuno. That Articuno, it's gonna look so sick if that snow is texturized, and
Hmm.
it's in there as just an AR. It's not even the SAR. So that's interesting. Um, just a art rare. I assume they're still doing the art rares and the SARs. Yeah, the Kyrim or the Volcarona rather EX. It's a SAR. So if that Reshiram and that Articuno is just a AR, maybe it's going to be more common. So I don't know. Interesting. But yep, it's going to be a pretty awesome set. Um, we'll see. I'm sure people are going to go crazy once again, throwing those
Hmm.
elbows. I watched this one dude. He was taking the videos of people like hoarding all the items off the shelf and playing them in reverse. So it looked like people were like picking up the boxes and like putting them back on the shelves. He's like, spread some positivity. These guys are restocking the shelves, making sure kids get a chance to get them. And it was just funny to see. Like it literally looked like people were picking up stuff off the ground and putting them on the shelves. And
Well, what's funny with that is it's just kind of crazy that it's all happening and just at a Costco. I mean, it could happen at any store, but it's just like if you see the video, it's like all of a sudden these people just revert back to their basic instincts, like their id just comes out, and they resort to their primordial behavior over Pokemon cards at Costco instead of being like cattle grazing at the grocery store. They're like rabid animals getting
why
their damn getting their damn Pokemon cards
why not just
at
limit it
Costco.
one per person too? Some places have been doing that.
Well,
Just
Costco doesn't really care enough. They don't give a shit enough to really care. Like I see videos on the TCG subreddit with Pokemon about like people loading up a whole not cart, but whatever you want to call it, not dolly, but
like a
they
flat
basically,
cart.
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. They'll load that thing up with like 20 boxes and just buy it in bulk. And
But
I've been
it's like
seeing that.
it's becoming like a liability now. Like people are going to get injured in their store,
Well, that's
so
true.
I bet they're going to want to
I bet
do
you.
one per person.
I wouldn't be surprised if they changed their their policy here going forward because I'm sure they've seen the videos of that incident by now.
Yeah. I mean, even if they limited two per person, even if you could walk out of the store and come back, you know, there was enough people there where you walk out of the
It
store,
would
you
have
come
sold
back, it'd
out.
be all gone.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like such an obvious problem to solve just with like a couple common sense people running the show. It's like people are taking an entire box of
You know what
cases.
the
Like,
real resolution should be?
huh?
Hunger Game style.
Choose your weapon.
Fight to the death.
Yeah, that's
You
another
know,
reason I like TCG Pocket a lot. It's like I can
yeah.
collect, get my collecting fix on there. I wish there were things were a little more rare, which I guess character rares are on there. Like trading will improve that a lot, but yeah, I'm getting my collecting fix on Pocket. I'm not having to elbow any old guys. It's going pretty good. So yeah, I don't know what the answer is. It's insane, and like distributors don't care because they can just sell to streamers who can pay whatever and just have an unlimited supply of buyers. So it's gonna be pretty rough for a while. Um,
Well, I hope. Well, like I said, we got 7 months, so we basically have 6 months, really, 6+ months for things to calm down. So we'll see. I'm
even if
hoping this.
they even if they printed enough though, and like they had someone there stocking every single day, it's like stuff would sell out, and like the next day the guy would come to work. If they had an unlimited supply of cards in the back that they could stock every day right now, like people would just buy them all. Um,
Yep, people are spending more money. I think people are throwing money on their credit cards.
and
I
like,
think
what do you
people are.
do? Does Pokemon have like an entire aisle in Target? Like, they need more space in the stores just to like have enough to survive 30 minutes at this point. So unless they just print it to the ground and just start sending these stores like tons and tons of supply, which the stores don't want to have this in the back of their store for more than a day, you know, it's like the only solution to this is if you could send a Target like 3 pallets of product every single day for like a month. But I don't know. unless they just make it where some online system where they can guarantee only a certain amount per person and just print the hell out of it online.
That inevitably bots inevitably get that shit. It always.
Yeah, but I mean
At least the
that
person.
experience would be better. Like it would be easier to like up your quantity and sell online somehow better and somehow fix the bot situation. Like that would make more sense than solving the shipping side of things, because the amount that they would just have to ship to have in person at this point, like today, would just be insane. Um, it's like online too. Like their online drops are selling out in 2 minutes. So I don't know what the solution is. I'm just happy I'm not collecting modern. If I find it as I wander in Target, that I go in once a month, I'll buy some. But other than that, it's like I check every time I go, but every time I go is like twice a month tops. So I don't really care to go hunting for it. Um, but yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
Guess
I think we went pretty in depth for with all the subjects we had to discuss. I think we did pretty well.
yeah. As far as the podcast goes, we will try to upload every month, cutting it back a little bit just so we can have more quality and in-depth conversation, and we're both a little busier. But yeah, hopefully that'll give us more leeway to record when we want, when there is big news. And
So, yeah, I
yeah,
should also say we still have the option to do a quick episode over something if necessary. So it's like not being strapped down by scheduling. You can be like, hey, something, I don't know, say Pokemon's like, we're releasing Gen 10 and we can make an episode and they really release like 4 EVs. We can be like, oh my god, did you see that? Did you see that?
yeah, we want to
And
be
then,
real loose with it so we can just do
yeah.
whatever. But at least try one a month. Um, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. Be sure to follow our socials. I don't know how much we'll really be posting on the
I have not been
PokeTalk.
active. I have not been active on my social in a while. I mean, I do stuff within the hobby still. I gotta
Yeah,
be honest with you. I'm getting tired of social media, all social media.
that's kind of where
Reddit,
I'm at too.
yeah, I would say like Reddit and a little bit of Snapchat because I got like one friend that's his preferred form of communication is like the only social media I really have at this point, and I'm a lot happier that way. I got rid of the old FB. I mean, I still have it, but just deactivated. And anything on my meta, I'm really not wanting to use going forward.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah.
I do have my Instagram still, NP Pokemon. Um, I guess I will be posting updates there, and that might be the only place. So that's where the most people are at for us. So maybe I'll
I
just
mean, I'll
post
use
there.
it. I'll use it reluctantly. All right, like I'm not gonna delete my account on Instagram. Okay. Um, but
It's funny, like I
yeah,
like Instagram now because it was always so fake. People post pictures and they don't comment much about their life. It's just here's a picture of me, and it's like to get the more authentic side, you go to Facebook or something. Now I kind of like that. I don't really care. Like, cool picture, move on. So I like Instagram now that it's like not much. Like, obviously, I know everything is surface level on there and people are just showing you what they want you to see. Um, but I'm to the point now where I don't care about that. People I follow on my personal ones, they don't really care about all that stuff. But on my Pokemon one, I get on there for business and like watch people's stories, but I'm not actively posting on there. But I'll post on there a little bit when we get videos up, so you guys can follow that along and know when we upload. But I guess with that, we'll wrap it up. right about an hour. So thanks for joining us once again. If you guys want any topics in the future, let us know. We'll be glad to share our thoughts on all the news. But you got anything else you want to say?
I don't think so. I think this was a pretty fun one. I really like the vibe of this one, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to just kind of have a topic and share our thoughts in the open like that. But all right, guys. Well, that'll do it. First episode of 2025, and we will see you in the next one.
Peace.